this is Tom Cloud with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. I want to jump right into some events that are going on. First of all, we've got the Baltic Dry Index that came out yesterday, and it's at the lowest figure of all time. This is real big on economic activity of imports and exports all over the world, and 47 of the last 51 days, the Dry Baltic Index has gone down to its lowest point ever, and yet the United States is trying to convince you that the economy is good, unemployment is low, and happy days are here again, which is absolutely the furthest thing from the truth you could find. Another thing that has happened is yesterday in Switzerland, it was announced that the $100 trillion of bonds around the world, that the worth actually is 700 trillion in play, which is 7-to-1, and this is what a derivative is. This is where you leverage up, whether it's gold or bonds or stocks or whatever the item is, but now we're getting back into the exact area we were in 2008, where we're up to 7-to-1 leverage on the bond market worldwide, where 7 times more people think they own bonds than really own them when they actually. So if it's like musical chairs, if you're the last one out, you lose your principal. And of course, the derivative market, we all remember what happened in 2008 when you woke up one day and a stock that was worth $100 per share a day before was worth 67, and you said, where'd the 33% go? It just went in, it was a mirage. It wasn't real. It's a piece of paper. What changed? Did the company get worse? No, the company didn't get worse, but you, the investor, perceived that things were worse, which they were, and you dropped the market 33% in a very short period of time. And we're headed right back into that same situation. I also want to mention that the central banks here, all this QE you've been hearing about over the last few weeks in the Europe Union, and certainly in the United States for the previous 2 years to this year, they're now monetizing this debt 100%. In other words, it's just being created as a paper entry with absolutely no collateral, nothing to back it. 100% of all the debt in the world is now being monetized in Japan, Europe, United States, the industrial, the G8 are all just in monetizing their debt. And we all know this can't go on. But meanwhile, we're seeing these countries that have a falling currency, like we see in Greece, we see also in England, France, and even in Germany, that they're buying gold. Gold went up 12.8% last year against the euro and is already up 12% this year in the first month and a half of the year. So what they're doing is the same thing we did back in 2012 and before. We were buying gold and getting out of paper currency, and gold was going up in dollars. Now we're seeing gold go up in every other currency except dollars. But whether you believe this or not, this is good news for you. Because if you hold in there when this dollar tops out in the United States, and right now we're around 94.66 as I record this, we're right bumping up against that 95 resistance. And once it does fall, you're going to see gold absolutely explode as money rotates from the stock market and the bond market over to gold. And we have seen the 10-year Treasury go up 26 basis points in a little over a week. So we're starting to see that bond market weakening a little bit. But it needs to. It's been in a 30-year bull market ever since the Jimmy Carter inflationary years. So we're watching that, and now we're seeing the Swiss banks back under attack for privacy laws. The United States and other countries are trying to butt in to their business and tell them they want access to all owners of bank deposits and who owns them and how much. And I don't think it's going to work this time. The other thing that happened last week that is, if you want to think about this, it's actually mind-boggling. President Obama came on and asked for a $4 trillion budget for the fiscal year 2015 that we're already 4 months into. still don't have a budget. So if we have a $4 trillion budget, we know we always overspend the budget 100% of the time. And they're saying that we're going to have $3,200 billion of tax revenues, which still leaves us at an $800 billion budget deficit. If you went back to 1980, 35 short years ago, Jimmy Carter got run out of office for having a $500 billion budget in fiscal year 1980. So the size of government in 35 years has gone up 8 times or 800%, and the money supply has gone up double that, 16 times. 16 times for the money supply, money created out of thin air with nothing to back it, and the budget itself up 8 times. There is nothing except gold that has kept up with that. Nothing except gold which has kept up with that. So what you've got to realize now is we're not going to monetize. We're going to monetize debt. We're not going to do anything to change it. We're running the budget straight up, and with nothing in sight to cut budget or budget deficits. So where does that get you now? Is we've talked about the Mystery of the Shemitah, the book by Jonathan Cahn. We've talked about the Jubilee years, the 7-year forgiveness years in the Bible, and not one time of those years since we went off a gold standard, the first Shemitah year was 1973. 73, 80, 87, 94, 2001, 2008, the stock market crashed over 30%. And I can't tell you if he's going to do it again, but I wouldn't bet against God. He's still talking, and we're still not listening in many areas of finances in our life. And all I can tell you is I don't care what gold is. I don't care if it goes down a little bit. I could care less. It's the only thing that's it has throughout 6,000 years recorded history been money. It's the only thing that will in the future. There's no counterclaim against it. It's yours. You own it. It goes up a fraction of what the money supply goes up in creation every year. A little bit more gold comes out, less than 1.5% of value. And you've already had a good taste from 2000 to 2012 when gold went from $256 up to over $1,700 per ounce. And now it's down in the 1200s, high 1200s, and we think it's getting ready to make another big run this year as this stock market money will rotate out, bond market will rotate out, and part of it back into gold. So right now is a perfect time to be buying gold. I don't want to spend a lot of time today going over the prices and the technical thing gold is. In a bull market, many money timers have come out and given that. And I want to close this session by saying yesterday, I'm recording this one day later than usual. I had a large money manager from Texas fly in about 3 hours of my time. And he had about 65, 70 questions we went through. And he's getting ready to move 15% of his clients' money into gold. Some of it physical, some of it different securities, but different ways. And the point is, this has been going on with me for 3 months. Now, there's 75, 80,000 money managers out there in America alone. And all of a sudden, I'm getting calls, asking me questions about getting in, what it costs, what does it cost to get out, where can I store it, what kind of gold should I own, what do you think of ETFs, what do you think of junior miner stocks? And I answer all these questions in a consulting capacity and just tell people exactly what I think, because that's what I'm here for, in my opinion. That's the reason God put me here, was for this job. And I take it very, very, very seriously. As any of you that know me know, it is something I'm very into and want to help people in any way that I can. So all I can tell you is, money manager in there, if your money manager is not doing it, you better either find one that can or peel out some of the money and get it into gold. We're happy to answer your questions. So with that, if you need to talk to me or Dan or Kathleen here in the office, we can be reached at 800-247-8255. 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. If you're not getting our email blast, you can sign up for those at ftmdaily.com, and we don't sell your emails to anybody. They're completely confidential. We won't contact you except through the email blast we send out, and anytime you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. You can also go to cloudhardassets.com and sign up and just let us know that you heard about us on FTM, and you'll be grandfathered in for free shipping and insurance forever if you get signed in and do an order. So hopefully we'll continue to bring you update each week with these sessions of the Precious Metals Market Update. Well, this is Tom Cloud signing out for this week.